Bulls win 116-108 in Miami to win the first game of the season. Welcome to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Brody, joined alongside my good friend and co-host, Nick Barr. Nick, we are officially 1,000% winning team. Can't complain about that. How you feeling after game one?
Hey man, want to know. Like you said, 1,000% so far. So you said right before we went live, we're on the road to 82-0, and that is an absolute fact.
What more can you want? 82-0. The Bulls are on their way, and I love how this team came out tonight without Lonzo Ball, without Zach LaVine, and straight up walked into the team that could have gone to the finals last year and made a lot of. I mean, I'm pumped about it. What a job.
Yeah. I mean, listen, they weren't. They were only missing really Victor Oladipo from an impactful roster points standpoint. So, I mean, Jimmy Buckets was playing the whole game. I mean, we beat a really good Miami Heat team right here. So that was something. It was, of course, I think my favorite takeaway was Io. I think we can all agree it's awesome to see the young kid stepping up like that, just like we knew he would. And then Vooch, it's always good to see Vooch get his confidence up because he can be a dog when he has his confidence going.
He is seventh in the league in 44 double-doubles leading since last January. Or this past January. So I saw that stat come up across the screen at the end. Vooch played his heart out tonight. And
it's a lot of boards. It's a lot of boards, man.
It's a lot of boards. He finished with 33 minutes, 17 rebounds, 2 assists, and 15 points. He was 1 field goal away from winning me $300. Just want to put that out there. But I don't care because the Bulls won the game. That's all that matters to me.
True fan.
True fan. So, Nick, before we go into DeMar's stat line and Io's stat line, both insanely impressive, especially DeMar's, what went wrong with Patrick Williams tonight?
I mean, I think we're all saying the same thing, and we've been saying it for a while now. I know he had a slow start to his NBA career because of injuries, and then you had, COVID and all that, but he just is not aggressive. We can all see that he has the talent, and we've been saying this forever. He's just not aggressive enough, and that's just what it comes down to. I think when P. Will wants to, he can score. He can be like a mid-teen scorer, but he's just not aggressive enough at this time. He shouldn't be taking threes. He should be taking the ball to the hole because a lot of guys are going to play him up. He can take him off the dribble. Pulling up on a jumper is just not the answer.
Yeah, I mean, like, he played 28 minutes tonight, so it's not like he got crazy numbers like DeMar and Io. Like, Io played 36 minutes tonight. DeMar played 36 minutes tonight. Like, a lot of these guys were out there for a while. So, I think he is off to he looked really good in the preseason, so I'm not too worried about it at the moment. It is the first game of the season, and they were playing pretty tough defense on him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, it's going to take a little bit, I think, for him to get his confidence up. That's just where he's at as a player. So it's just one game. I mean, I think our takeaways mostly lie with our young Io DeSumo, but P. Will, we'll give him more time. It's there for you, brother. If you want to take the shot to be more aggressive, you have it. I think Billy gave you the green light. We're all giving you the green light, pal.
And another thing is that, let's go on to another young guy who is making a huge impression. That's Io DeSumo. 36 minutes, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 17 points, a couple clutch shots, especially the 3-point game was working for him tonight. I mean, I love the ball movement that Io had out there. And another thing I love is that when Drummond got that offense, the technical foul, that Io went instantly up to him and was like, "Yo, you got to chill out." He went up to arguably a Hall of Famer and was like, "You need to chill out." So I really like that from Io. That was a great job.
Dude, he's showing a lot. I mean, like you said, that's one of those intangibles that you love to see. A guy that can, bring the troops in, especially a vet like that. Kind of tell him to calm down, like everything's going to be all right. I mean, he's a level head and a huge talent. And I think what I like the most is that he pushes the floor. He's kind of replacing exactly what we wanted to out of Lonzo Ball's absence was, obviously Lonzo has a lot of irreplaceable qualities, but from a push the ball from a point guard standpoint, a true point guard standpoint, Io is filling the shoes and some.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like there was a lot of talk between him and Dragic, Gordon Dragic being the starter this upcoming season, and I thought Dragic did a great job too. 12
Yeah, oh
points in
yeah,
19 minutes. I mean, what a way to step in.
some
And
crazy shots, some
yeah,
crazy shots.
the circus shot was insane, but he walked it. He like came into this Bulls organization, signed a very small contract, and has already made an immediate impact. And I think that's something that we needed, especially, Coby White didn't have a bad night either, 10 points off the bench, which isn't
He
horrible in 25 minutes. But
he
what
looked
do
all
you
right.
think?
He looked all right. No, I was I think you're gonna get those wild shots that barely hit the rim from Kobe. I think that's just what we should expect by now. But he can also provide quite a spark. He was getting on the floor too. He was showing a little defensive spark too, which I know he's not known for. But when he's hitting threes, man, he can play. He can play on both sides. So he has a right to be in the game for sure. I mean, we don't want to harp on the guy too much, but of course he's under a little bit of a microscope given that he wasn't extended in the offseason. So I think he's really trying to ball out. And hey, I'm all here for it.
Speaking of balling out, let's go on to DeMar. What a night for DeMar DeRozan, DMVP, coming out on night number 1 against the Miami Heat, the number 1 seed in the East last year, scoring 37 with 9 assists, almost having a double-double, and 6 rebounds in 36 minutes. This guy played out of his mind tonight. Hats off to DeMar DeRozan. I am so... Again, worst free agent signing last year. This guy is horrible at basketball. But what a night
We're
for
gonna
him.
keep saying it. We're gonna keep saying it. Yeah, man. I think I mean, of course. I mean, what is there that we can't say about DeMar at this point? Like we've all said it. He's amazing. He's the mid-range king. He's the surgeon, as I like to call
King
him.
of the fourth.
He'll just pick you apart, man. And he's just surgical. He's patient with it. It's a beautiful thing to watch DeMar go to work. But I thought the thing that stood out to me the most was he was dishing the ball, man. He had 9 assists, but he was making others around him better, not just doing his thing on an ISO level. Like he looks good as ever, bro.
He also he just looked like he controlled the game. If it came
Yeah,
to a steal, he was leading the fast break. If he
that's
was
what he
getting on the
does. Yeah,
boards, but and then that dirty dunk that he had in the third quarter was just something else, man. I mean,
oh
he
yeah.
flew into the lane, caught the ball, and just slammed it down in the throat of the Heat's paint. It's just satisfying to see that he has not skipped a beat. And,
Yeah.
Especially with Zach LaVine out tonight, which a lot of people were worried about at first, he did an awesome job picking up the slack. So what a time, what a job by DeMar DeRozan.
He's the man. He's the man. I mean, we're gonna say it forever. We're gonna keep saying he was the worst free agent signing ever. We're gonna go to the grave with saying that because I mean, and of course, whoever originally said it, of course, ate their words, and it's a bummer. But if he keeps doing this, man, he has not lost a beat, like you said. I mean, the boy can still get up, baby. The boy can still get up.
I loved it. I mean, DeMar saved the night. Arguably, I mean, him and Vooch, they were a two-headed monster tonight against a very tough Heat defense. And speaking of people that contributed to this, is that the bench mob is back. I mean, Andre Drummond, Gordon Dragic, Coby White, Alex Caruso. These guys just came in and balled out. What a night by the bench coming in and having an immediate impact and not losing a beat for the starting 5 once they went out.
Yeah, yeah. And I think I think we're all still kind of waiting on our toes to see Dalen Terry get in the mix a little bit. Obviously, we're even with Lonzo out, we're still guard heavy, so we don't necessarily have a big need for Dalen at this time. But I think it's safe to say that we liked what we saw in the preseason enough to where I could see him having some sort of role eventually, down the road here. So let's see if he gets it next game. But yeah, great performance. Dragic, Kobe, and Caruso, of course.
I love this comment from Arb Oma. They hate us because they ain't us. I'm telling you, the Bulls are just so slept on in this league because no one wants the Bulls to be good again. Because everyone that's still from the 90s and, the 2010s to the mid 2010s. Like, the Bulls are just a good basketball
Here,
franchise. I love it.
yeah, and I think people can respect that, but here's the thing. Here's the thing about last season compared to this season, where it's like I think we're not going to get as much attention in the media, even though we're clearly a solid team. But now it's like the media is going to point more towards like, are the Bulls bad because they can't beat any of the top teams in the NBA, right? But it's like,
Did
well,
it out of
first
the
of all,
gate.
we just did it right out of the gate. So it's like I think everyone wants, the NBA is better when the Bulls are good. I think we can all agree on that. But we're not going to get much love until we start beating teams like the Heat, like we did tonight. So
They definitely put people on notice, especially again the bench mob. I just kind of want to hit on how much improved they're playing. I kind of ripped on Tony Bradley a little bit tonight because you sign a guy Andre
I
Drummond.
saw that. I saw that a little ricochet shot at Tony.
I but
Right,
but
right. I agree. I agree. I agree.
but
But it
like
was funny.
look, I mean,
I laughed at my phone.
there was a moment where Drummond had 3 guys around him and was still getting his own rebound over and over again, and Tony
Yeah.
Bradley would just let that thing fly out of bounds. I know
No, he
Tony
was
Bradley is still a bull, but come on, man.
for sure, man. And he can hustle. Tony. We love you, kid. But listen, man. Drummond is a seasoned vet, and you can tell. He's just got that. He's got that.
He's got that
No,
dog in him.
that dog in him. That no babies allowed. That's that true vet NBA talking to you. So he won't let anything by him.
And he didn't have a bad stat line either. In 15 minutes, he had 9 points, 1 assist, something that we don't see from him very often, and 5 rebounds. But I feel like 4 of those 5 rebounds came on one play where he just kept getting it over
I
and over
know.
and over.
I know, I
But
know. I would have liked to see a couple more boards just because it all came on that one possession.
the one thing that the Bulls need to do, and something that I saw tonight, was keep their cool and keep their composure. And Stacey King called it out in the third quarter, is when the
Oh
Bulls
yeah,
started to get sloppy and they didn't have a field goal for over 4 minutes. That was one thing where I was like, okay, yeah, that's something that you can't do against good teams. And the Heat have some rust on them, so that's why this game might have been a little easier for the Bulls. But a well-seasoned, full, well-oiled machine for the Miami Heat later this season. Bulls might not have been able to come back from losing their composure for a little bit, but also it showed that they can come back in that kind of situation, and they were able to do it early in the season. I really like that, and again, it was all led by DeMar DeRozan.
yeah, man. I mean, I think especially on Twitter, I don't think I gave DeMar enough love, but I think it's because even though we've only had him for 1 year, it's like I'm already used to like these 30-point amazing performances. It's like you got to take a step back and be like, this is actually pretty impressive, especially for what he was projected to be like at this point in his career. I mean, he's outshining every expectation still.
And also his 3-point shot. I know DeMar can shoot threes, but it was locked in tonight. That dude
2 for
was
3,
not.
baby.
Yeah,
2 for
he
3.
was unbelievable. I mean, 2 for 3. I know that's not a lot of threes, but 2 out of 3, that's pretty darn good. I
It's
can't go out there and make a 3. No way.
No, it's rare. It's rare that he makes more than one in a game. So I'm happy for the guy, man.
I bet the over on it. I'm not gonna lie. I have a lot of faith in DeMar. I know he can
Ooh.
do it. The over was also 0.5. So,
Oh, is that? I
but
was gonna ask what the line was. Yeah, that I would. Yeah, that's a tough one. Okay, good for you.
so Nick, Billy's coaching grade tonight. I know that he really kept his veterans in. We didn't see a lot of the young guys. I did want to see Dalen Terry out there at least for a little bit, but the game was too intense the
Too close.
entire
Yeah,
time. It was too close to throw a rookie guard out there, a 6'7" rookie guard, just putting that out there. But
yeah.
what would you give Billy and his staff's coaching grade tonight?
Um, I I'd give him a. I mean, I'd give him a B minus, let's say. And I thought he could have got I thought he could have got the guys going a little bit more in the first half. But in terms of how he managed, you know, uh Dragic's minutes, especially where it's like Dragic felt like, I mean,
Dragic has
we
a
all
lot of
felt this.
gray hair too, by the
Yeah,
way.
he
I just wanted to
does.
put
I know. I
he's got
didn't
a
know
lot
he
of
was
gray hair.
that
Nothing
peppered
wrong
up.
with that. But
No,
he looks
he's a
good. A touch of gray.
silver
The man
fox,
looked
man.
good on the Silver Fox.
Silver
That's a
fox,
good.
man.
There you go. There you go.
But I like the way that he handled him because obviously we felt his presence and we know that with Lonzo out, he's going to need to play some significant minutes, but he wasn't overplayed by any means. He only played 19 minutes, which I felt like was right in that sweet spot. I thought he showed his trust in Dosunmu by playing him that long. I mean, it shows how much Billy loves and has trust in Io, and I thought that was cool, man. So I
I mean,
I give it a strong grade for that for sure.
and Io was out there the same amount of minutes as DeMar, 36 each. They led the team in minutes. They also both
Yep.
had the same amount of rebounds at 6. So this kid was out
Yep.
there rebounding. He put on a lot of muscle this offseason. Io looks really good.
Looks
In
great.
my opinion, in Billy's grade, I like that you went with B minus because I am going to go with a solid B. I think that you go into Miami with a team that really didn't lose a lot of big pieces. You had one major guy injured. Jimmy Butler is going against his old team. You're missing Zach LaVine. You're missing Lonzo Ball. You're playing with an injured Alex Caruso, and you still win that game without going to overtime. And you're able to shut the Heat down in the last 2 minutes. Super impressive coaching job.
Yeah, man.
I was watching it. I was like, wow, Billy, this is his 3rd year as the Bulls coach. The first year did not go so well. Last year, you're starting to get the growing pains out a little bit. You were starting to get things moving for this team. And then this year, Billy's locked in. 3rd time's a charm. I think Billy
Billy,
Donovan is doing a great job, or did a great job in this first game.
I agree, man. Billy's locked in, and I think Billy's one of the better coaches when he is locked in like that. And I think he's got. I think next year his contract is up, right? So he's
Yep.
and he's trying to prove himself still because not a whole lot has happened between the last couple of years. So he's got he's playing like he's got a lot to prove, just like the players are, man. It's beautiful. It's better for us, right? So let's go, Billy.
Let's talk about one more guy really quick in regards to before we close out. Thank you for everyone that's logging in. Please throw your comments of how you think the game went or any questions that you have for us in the comments. We'd love to hear about it. Let's talk about Coby White real quick. You brought it up earlier that he isn't a contract year. He did not get the extension that was due this past, I believe it was on Monday night it was due. And the Bulls did not give him an offer. So that's okay because he still is a Bull this year. We love him. We love what he's going to do. But why do you think the Chicago Bulls did not give him an extension? And what does Coby White mostly have to do to prove himself? And throw it in the comments too. Ron, I see you just gave it a comment. Thanks for tuning in. We'll throw it up in a sec. But man, want to definitely get your opinion on Coby White and what he needs to do.
Yeah, and please drop some comments below because Coby White has always confused me, so I'm not sure if I'll have the right takes or not. But I think at this point, because he shows these sparks that can be so great, and you're like, oh yes, let's keep Coby. And then there's times where there'll be like 6-minute stretches in the game that he's in, and he's an absolute liability. So it's like a back and forth with Coby, and I think they've given him enough time to prove himself. And of course, so he becomes a restricted free agent, right? Because he didn't get extended. So
Right.
that means that, if another team offers him, we can match the offer. So he could still be a Bull. Maybe he'll show out this year, and then I'd be happy to take him back. But for now, I mean, I think the Bulls played it right. Like he's got to prove it at this point. It's go time.
He didn't do too bad. I mean, he had 10 points, 2 rebounds, but the problem is, as a point guard, you need to be able to pass the rock. He had no assists tonight, and that's something that I noticed right out of the gate on the stat sheet. I was like, man, Kobe's got to be able to pass the rock a little bit better.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, if we're playing small, and he can slide into the shooting guard position, but he, like I said, he's hot, he's really hot, or he's really, really cold. So it's like, what Coby are you gonna get? And I think the Bulls were just kind of a little bit fed up with taking the risk on that.
So let's go through the Bulls stats real quick. Excuse me, compared to the Heat. So the Bulls were 41 for 93 from the floor with a 44.1 field goal percentage. They were 13 of 36 from the three. That's 36.1%. And they were 21 for 28 from the three throw line, which is 75%. That stat really stands out to me because Dragic missed 2 key free throws late in the game that could have helped put the Bulls up, I believe, by 9. Instead, the Bulls were only up by 7. And a guy who's a career 77% free throw shooter, that kind of worried me a little bit that the Bulls are at 75%. I get there's rust, but still, you got to be able to hit those shots.
Yeah, I felt like I was watching college basketball for a second there at the end. I mean, all these missed free throws. You don't want to be that guy that says, well, you should make every free throw. It should be, like wiping, whatever. But that's a little ridiculous. And again, we need Dragic when he is presented with minutes, we need him to really perform well, So I mean, we need those few minutes that he gets. And for the most part, he shined. Like he I think surpassed
Agreed.
my expectations, but that was a little tough. And both teams, like, hit your damn free throws. Come on.
And so Bulls led in nearly every good category, at least, besides personal fouls. They had 26 personal fouls compared to the Heat's 24. But the Bulls had a total of 46 rebounds. Miami had a total of 46 rebounds. They had more offensive rebounds, though, with 12, which is great to hear. They also had 2 more assists. They had 23 assists on the game. They had 6 blocks against Miami's 2 blocks. They had 12 steals compared to Miami's 6. So take that, Miami. You guys stink. They had 5 less turnovers, but they did have 10 less points in the paint. But the 3-point shot was working tonight for the Bulls. I mean, Io was making them, DeMar was making them, Vooch was making them. They looked good from the 3-point line tonight.
Yeah, Vooch, once again, he hit him when it matters. And I tweeted about it. I love when he gets all pumped up and starts talking to himself. Like he'll like when other players compliment him, he doesn't have a whole lot to say, but whenever he's talking to himself, he's got a whole lot to say, and I think it's hilarious.
I love Vooch because he's a humble kind of guy, and he's hilarious on Twitter. Like he loves
Great follow.
Great follow when him and Gobert, when it was like potentially the Bulls were going to trade for Gobert, and he tweeted, he goes, "Wow, I'm happy I didn't put a bid down on a house in Utah." Instead, he bought his house in Chicago. So he's pretty committed to the city, which is great. But overall, I mean, like these guys, they're just guys out there. They just had fun tonight. Walk into Miami and go up 1-0, that's big. And I am super stoked about it. And thanks for everyone for tuning in. Love the comments that are coming in. Love the view. I know you guys are all pumped. That's why you're obviously here. But Nick, any more comments about tonight's game before the Bulls play in the next couple days?
No, I don't. Not much else. I mean, I appreciate everyone for tuning in. I think we're pumped, but this is just game 1. We got a long season ahead. I'm excited to keep doing this, man.
The road to 82-0 started today, and the Bulls are already up that road. So good to see that, and I'm pumped about it too. Bulls are currently leading the East at 1-0. I know that obviously there's more teams involved, but the Bulls' next game is on the East Coast, so they're going to stay on the East Coast. They're obviously in Miami right now. They're going to Washington to play the Wizards Friday night at 6 p.m., and then home opening night at Chicago United Center against Cavaliers, 7 p.m. at the United Center. Can't wait for that. But Nick, thank you as always for logging on, talking Bulls with me. I love it. Tony usually takes my spot. But Tony was busy on the live tweet. If you want to know who's live tweeting, it's Nick and Tony. It's not me. I'm the Bears live tweet guy. So great job tonight by you guys, as always. Make sure you go check our Instagram reels of all the big highlights from tonight. You don't want to miss the DeMar DeRozan dunk. It was absolutely bonkers. So, and hopefully we have Zach LaVine back this upcoming Friday night against the Wizards. But Nick, as always, thanks for logging on, man. Thank you all for listening, and we will see you guys next time.